Hello, my beautiful friends. Before getting to the main topic of today's video, which is what do Alice in Wonderland and pine, aka Matsutake mushrooms, have in common, I would like to do a few housekeeping notes. So for the transportation of the mushrooms, I think it's important to note that the best thing you can do is transport them in just a simple paper bag and make sure that it's tightly closed, just like this, so it will keep the mushrooms dark, moist and cool, just as they like, but it will also prevent them from sweating, because this is breathable and nobody wants to eat a sweaty mushroom, believe me. And another thing that I wanted to say is that I feel like I made a mistake with the size of the mushrooms that I was picking, and I'll tell you why. I didn't know, right? We were leaving aside little little buttons. We were leaving them to grow, but we were picking mushrooms that are bigger, but the veil is still closed. And as I came home and as I was researching recipes from this wonderful book of indigenous recipes, focus here, called Chimi Nuam, Native California Foodways for the Contemporary Kitchen, written by Sarah Calvoza Olson, an incredible book. Look at all those native foods placed together. So as I was trying to get inspiration and see how do native people prepare matsutake mushrooms, pine mushrooms, I've learned so much. And I would like to read it to you actually, just to make sure that I stay as close to the source as possible. So tan oak mushrooms, so matsutake mushrooms and pine mushrooms are also called tan oak mushrooms. And it's fascinating because I also have tan oak acorns here at home that I found in not too far from the area where I found mushrooms. So it's all making sense now. Tan oak mushrooms, also known as pine mushrooms and matsutakes, are highly prized around the world. The demand for these little uniquely flavored mushrooms and shortages in other parts of the world due to weather or disease put a devastating burden on our populations of tan oak mushrooms in California in the 1990s. Outsiders representing commercial Japanese buyers set up stands and tables paying cash for mushrooms, especially the small buttons, immature fruiting bodies. So they were harvested before their veil opened to release spores. It makes so much sense. I don't know how I didn't think about it, but the veil does have to open up, at least partially, for the spores to be released. Otherwise, we're picking them entirely too early. So lesson learned, and I'm definitely not going to do it again. I'm so glad I found this article. That's why I wanted to share it, since I'm already sharing the encouragement to go out there and get to know native foods. I also want to share how to do it sustainably, because it's probably the most important part of the whole process. So they were harvested before their veil opened to release spores. They're finally rebounding, but it is vitally important that non-native people avoid going to native communities to harvest them. There is a robust population of subsistence gatherers that rely on them for food, meaning that's their food source. And as they leave their year round, these gatherers are also the people who are tending and nurturing these quirky shrooms and their habitat. Very important, right? We just come in and gather and leave, but these people, they're actually there ensuring that the mushrooms come back year after year. When gathering, cut the base of the mushroom, leaving the mycelium untouched. Do not dig for buttons. Only larger mushrooms that have already risen, with veils at least 50% open. Once gathered, cover the spot with leaf litter to ensure a damp, cool environment for the mycelium to continue thriving. Only gather what you need and are prepared to use, and process them immediately. Remember, the flavor is different from most mushrooms, tasting distinctly of fresh pine needles. True. And many chefs claim they simply must have unopened matsutakis because it retains a pure essence of the harvest. But those chefs are sus, so avoid them. And from personal experience, I can tell you that what I think is happening with digging of the buttons, and with the buttons, the teeny tiny ones being so popular, is because they transport better. So the ones with the gills still closed and the smaller buttons, they transport so well and they store so well. The moment the mushroom fully opens up and the gills are open, it becomes a little more brittle. And those big ones that I've transported, you know, they became a little wilted, sort of. And I think that's probably why commercial harvesters are looking for those small buttons. I will not be doing that again. I apologize, and I'm very thankful again to Sara Calvosa Olson and writing this amazing book. Again, I'm gonna focus on this for a moment. There we go. Because this is a gem. This is a true gem. Not only it has incredible recipes with all the native ingredients that you can harvest locally in California, but it also gives you a story behind each ingredient, either her personal story or some sort of a fact about native culture and that ingredient, which is everything I was looking for. And all right, getting back to the main topic of this video. What do pine mushrooms have in common with Alice in Wonderland? Eat me, and I will change you to get you through the right door. Or I can keep you stuck in the doorway. We have all probably contemplated on such familiar concepts as you are what you eat, food is the key, food holds information. So given that the number of easily accessible, healthy, cultivated foods is 120, and an average diet of an American person consists of roughly 18 to 25 of those foods, I can easily predict how many doors you will be able to open in a lifetime. If I also genetically modify and pattern all the seeds, I am certain to know not only how much information, but also what kind of information you will be able to access in this lifetime. But more on that later. According to foodtechconnect.com, I quote, about 75% of the world's food comes from just 12 plants and 5 animal species. Almost half of our plant-derived calories come from just 3 foods: wheat, corn, and rice. 3 plants. While estimates vary, it is believed that there are over 30,000 edible plants and we only eat 150 of them. End quote. And that is worldwide. What about US? The quickest way to get to know a culture or an environment is by consuming food that is native to that territory, right? That is why we travel and explore different cuisines. That said, have we ever really gotten to know the true America? Since most of the foods that we eat here today have been brought in from Europe or Asia. Did you know that California has 6,500 species of plants occurring naturally in the state, Many of them are endemic, meaning they grow nowhere else in the world. And 1,000 species of these 6,500 are edible and were used and incorporated into indigenous people's diets every day. A few examples include manzanita berries, miner's lettuce, red maize, golden currants, acorns, pinyon pine, chia seeds, mesquite, coastal buckwheat, wild cherry, taboos, nahavita, and I bet you haven't even tried one of these. So which environment exactly were we getting to know, living in this new world, but not eating of it? Which doors are we opening inside of us with the keys from the old world? How come when we go for a vacation to Mexico, we're looking for the most authentic restaurant, but the same excitement, enthusiasm, and curiosity quickly fizzled out upon our arrival to the new world, North America? What about nutrition? It is a well-documented observation that food has lost some or most of its nutritional value. Can it be that the foods we're eating today have lost their nutritional value to us for no other reason than we have grasped and mastered all the information that was contained within them? We have gathered all the keys, opened up all the doors, and are now simply walking around in circles in a well-known, familiar territory. So where to next? Deeper. Back to the origin, back to the center. Closer to oneness between our inner world and our environment through native, local, original food, towards original instructions and knowledge. If you think of consumption of food as a spectrum or a sphere with overindulgence and overeating on one side and complete autonomy, a growing trend of not eating or drinking any water on the other side, then somewhere in the middle there is a mix of both, is where most of us are. But that too can be expanded if we venture deeper in, not further out. Deeper in through exploration of native foods, foods that were originally here. This will deepen both us and our environment, reconnecting the two and opening up a world of new possibilities. Our microbiome, our gut flora affects how we feel, how we look. It connects us to each other and connects us to our immediate environment. The urge to fast, to cleanse, to stop eating is the urge to escape our current circumstances and environment. But I say, instead of severing this connection, we ought to look deeper into the ways of reconciliation. Zooming out and looking at the bigger picture, it appears that this is not our first go around at this. What keeps happening is that we are always ready to grow and expand and are not equally keen on looking within, looking back, contracting, downsizing, getting to the essence, to the core of our environment, exploring our authentic selves. The magic is always within, and we don't need to fly to Mars to find it. Native foods, native people hold the original keys to the doors locked within us. Let's reconnect with them and watch the true magic unfold. I love you guys. I hope you enjoy this video and many, many more to come. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and have a beautiful day. I love you. Bye.